Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news. This is what's left of a car after a serious crash on the Triangle Expressway this morning around 2:30. What we've learned from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker.
And more breaking news we're following. A Durham home severely damaged in a house fire around 1 a.m. What we know about the two people who were inside when this happened.
And today starts a cold snap that will last for much of the week. Already this morning, our wind chills are in the teens and 20s. I'll show you how low it will go.
It's Inauguration Day at the U.S. Capitol, where you're looking live right now. What Donald Trump plans to do after he's sworn in later today, and what it could mean for us here in North Carolina. And because of bitterly cold temperatures in the nation's capital, the ceremony, the parade, all moved indoors for the first time in 40 years since Reagan was sworn in as president. Good morning, everyone. It's 6 o'clock. We're dealing with cold temperatures here. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Lovingood. Yeah, we'll be talking more about that as well as MLK Day events that we're going to be looking at today. But we do want to tell you about those bitterly cold temperatures you're waking up to this morning. Elizabeth's been tracking them.
We'll start here with Durham, and this is a live look. Of course, it's dark right now, but skies are clear. Our temperature just dropped to 29. And officially at RDU, our wind is calm, but we do have a wind chill in some other places. For example, it feels like 22 in Fayetteville, 22 in Southern Pines, feels like 26 in Clinton, 19 in Rocky Mount, and of course, no wind here in Roxborough, as well as Durham and Raleigh, so feeling like the 20s. 24-hour temperature change pretty big, anywhere from about 10 to 20 degrees colder than it was this time yesterday. So this begins our cold snap. Temperatures at lunchtime right around freezing, and this afternoon, our temperature just 34. Now, we'll see plenty of sunshine, but the wind will continue for today and tonight, and so that brings us a cold weather advisory for tonight. The wind chill will be 7 to 13 when everyone is headed out to work and maybe school. I know Wake County schools are off tomorrow, so maybe some of the kids will not have to head out in those bitterly cold temperatures. Of course, everybody's abuzz about whether we're going to see snow or not, and it's definitely looking more like not, except for the fact, say from Raleigh south and east, there could be a few light flurries, but it looks like under an inch of snow. So this is what we're looking at right now, the bitterly cold temperatures, especially tonight and then all the way through Thursday. That snow chance will be closer to the coast. We'll talk about why that is and how much you could see coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, at 6:01, we're going to keep it outside, give you a live look at I-40 and Jones Sausage Road. Not much traffic to report, but for those of you coming in from Garner and all points west, you can rest easy that it's free-flowing in both directions this morning. Really giving you a wider view, all our traffic maps. Just nothing but green showing up. You're getting ready to head out this morning. Even though there's nothing but green showing up, traffic changes rather quickly. 101.5 HD3. Tune us in on the radio. We'll keep you updated.
Breaking news this morning, NC 540 in Wake County is back open after an intense crash. This happened this morning around 2:30 near Holly Springs Road. What you're seeing here is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. It's showing a car with significant damage in the median. It appears it hit some guardrails, though we are working to learn what specifically happened and if anyone was injured.
Two people are out of their home after a fire that broke out just after 1 this morning in Durham. The Durham Fire Department shared this photo of flames tearing through a home on Guest Road. Crews were able to get the fire under control in about 20 minutes, but as you can see, the house has significant damage. And this is what it looked like on Guest Road when the WRAL Breaking News Tracker got there. A cat that was in the home died. The Red Cross is helping the two people who lived there.
New this morning, shortly after midnight, a plane made a safe landing at RDU after being diverted for a mechanical issue. The Frontier Airlines flight took off from Philadelphia and was bound for Miami. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker of that plane at the gate at RDU. RDU Fire and Rescue responded to the runway as a precaution, but no injuries were reported.
Today, President-elect Donald Trump will take the oath of office for the second time. He'll be sworn in at noon inside the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol, where you're looking live. The ceremony will be held inside for the first time in 40 years, and that's because of how bitterly cold it will be in our nation's capital today. The swearing in will happen in front of a limited number of VIP guests. The parade that accompanies the ceremony will also take place indoors. It will be at Washington's Capital One Arena. The Presidential Inaugural Committee has not shared whether that will be a ticketed event or open to the general public. Now, Trump is expected to issue dozens of executive orders within hours of taking office today. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the state capitol building in Raleigh. And Kelsey, some of those orders could have a big impact on industries here in North Carolina.
Absolutely, Renee. President-elect Trump is expected to issue more than 100 executive orders, and many of those will impact what goes on here in North Carolina. Immigration and border security are top priorities on his agenda. North Carolina's unauthorized population is about 300,000, with more than half of those people coming from Mexico. That's according to the Migration Policy Institute. North Carolina's largest industry, agriculture, would likely take a hit from an immigration crackdown. Trump has also threatened to roll back several economic initiatives from the Biden administration. This could lead to a change in job recruitment efforts here in North Carolina. GOP analyst Michelle Woodhouse expects the new administration will prioritize Helene relief.
I'm looking forward to hearing a message of action, resolution, solutions. Those are the things that I think I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing.
Our NC Capitol team did a full breakdown on how some of Trump's actions could potentially impact our state's economy. You can check out that story right now on our website, WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
NBC News will have special coverage for the inauguration of Donald Trump. It starts at 7 with a special edition of Today. Then at 10 a.m., you can watch all the inauguration proceedings live right here on WRAL.
Doors opened just minutes ago at the Triangle Interfaith Prayer Breakfast that will honor the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from the Sheraton Imperial Hotel in Durham. Laura, I see there are quite a few people there behind you. It's going to be packed there today.
This is going to be a packed house here inside the Sheraton, Chris. Good morning. And we are certainly feeling the atmosphere and the spirit of Dr. King. Behind me, you're looking at volunteers with an organization of all of these beautiful young women. Right now, I'm joined with Terry Spice. How are you doing this morning?
I'm very well. How are you?
Thank you so much for being here and speaking with us. You were telling me about this amazing organization. Tell us why it was so important for you to bring the girls here today.
Well, first of all, thank you for this. The 60 Small Pearls Lead Academy, we're 11 years in. Volunteer community service is a mandate of our program. But what better than to do it on the celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I want our children to have a true appreciation for who he is, the legacy, to see excellence in person with all of the community leaders that will be here today, the corporate sponsors, everybody. It's important that they know that their contribution here today matters. And they've been volunteering, and I'm so proud of them.
And just knowing that they will be a part of this program, getting to hear from some of the speakers, what is the biggest takeaway that you hope they gain from this event?
That their voice matters, that they own the power of who they are individually and collectively. This is a powerful, we volunteered in the past. Kyler has been our keynote speaker in the past. We've had 2. So our girls are made to understand that success looks just like them. And that really, truly is what's really important to this program.
Well, thank you so much. And we're, of course, going to be covering the entirety of the event. If you can't make it here in person, we're going to be live streaming this on WRAL.com and on the news app. Again, the doors just opened at 6 a.m. The program begins at 7:15. Laura Levine, WRAL News. We're live in RTP.
This morning at 11, the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial March starts in Raleigh. That march will begin at the state capitol building. You're looking at video from last year's march. Civic organizations, community leaders, families, and members of the clergy all take part in this annual event.
The Chapel Hill Carrboro NAACP will commemorate Martin Luther King Jr. Day today, and that starts with a rally at 10 a.m. at the Peace and Justice Plaza on East Franklin Street. People will then march to First Baptist Church on North Robertson Street. A service begins there at 11. And for a list of ways you can honor the life of Martin Luther King Jr. today, you can visit WRAL.com and search MLK.
People in the Northeast are also dealing with dangerously cold temperatures this week. A snowstorm moved through parts of New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania yesterday afternoon. People are being asked to stay off the roads if they can.
And here in the WRAL Live Center, another state that saw a lot of snow was Connecticut. This is actually a live picture, a live driving shot in Connecticut right now from our sister station there. You can see all the snow on the roads. It is very, very cold there, just like it is here this morning. Some parts of Connecticut actually saw about 6 inches of snow over the weekend. They're saying temperatures there are very cold today. They're going to get even colder tomorrow. Some areas in Connecticut could see the feels like wind chill temperatures, -10 degrees. So that just kind of shows you how cold it is there.
It is cold. Michelle, thank you. FEMA extended transitional housing assistance for people affected by Helene in western North Carolina. Now, FEMA approved an additional 60 days for people to find alternative housing after a request from Governor Josh Stein because of the severity of Helene's damage and aftermath. That moves the last night of stay from March 26th to May 25th. Hotel checkout is now May 26th.
New this morning, thousands of Costco workers across the country plan to go on strike. The union representing about 18,000 Costco employees voted last night to authorize this strike. Costco is entering its final round of contract negotiations with those workers before a January 31st deadline. The Teamsters union claims Costco is not negotiating with them constructively. The strike would start February 1st if an agreement is not reached.
Still ticking. TikTok is available for users again after it was offline over the weekend. What's next for the app as a possible ban remains on the table?
And playing in the snow, the NFL's Final Four is set after 2 wintry playoff games. The big plays that have teams moving on to the conference championships.
We're going to talk about our chance of a little wintry weather coming up. But first, overnight tonight, we have a cold weather advisory. I'll show you how cold the temperatures will feel as you're waking up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13, we're talking about the cold temperatures as you're stepping out the door this morning. Of course, that chilly air is going to be with us now for a while. Temperatures this morning, of course, are going to end up in the mid-20s, mid to upper 20s, and then we'll end up at just low 30s as we get through the afternoon. So just be alert for that. We're looking at the potential for overnight temperatures to be in the teens and then feeling like single digits. So we do have a cold weather advisory in effect for early tomorrow morning. We're going to walk you through that. Of course, a lot of folks are, wishing that we would or would not have snow. Of course, the trends over the weekend have been less and less potential for snow, but we'll walk you through that as well. We do have 2 weather alert days this week, both tomorrow and Wednesday. We'll walk you through those coming up. Ken?
On this holiday morning, we'll keep it outside and give you a live look at I-40 and Airport Boulevard. Traffic is beginning to pick up just a little bit, but flowing nicely in both directions. Speaking of which, you got a morning flight. We've isolated all the major routes into RDU International. That's RDU International right there. All the major routes are delay-free at this hour. Similarly, you look all across the Triangle and surrounding communities from Wendell all the way to Durham, Chapel Hill. Nothing but clear sailing this morning.
We expect to see more scenes like this in the coming weeks. 3 hostages who've been in Hamas captivity for more than 15 months were handed over to Israel yesterday. Dozens more are expected to be released as part of the ceasefire deal that's now in place. And one of them is Chapel Hill native Keith Siegel. Hamas took Siegel and his wife Aviva hostage October 7, 2023. Aviva was released after 51 days. Siegel's friends and family are hopeful that he and Aviva will soon be reunited. But yes, there's relief, but also feelings that are complex.
There's concerns because this is a compromise deal and it's not like any kind of decisive victory as people had hoped. Let's hope that whatever does emerge after the ceasefire is better for the people of Gaza and for the people of Israel.
Israel says it has released about 90 Palestinian prisoners on its side of the deal. Hamas is expected to release 4 more hostages in the next week.
TikTok is back up and running in the U.S. this morning, but its future remains uncertain. President-elect Trump says he plans to issue an executive order after he takes office today that would extend the deadline for a ban on the app. He also proposes the U.S. could take a 50% ownership of the app. The app was offline for about 12 hours over the weekend after the deadline for a federal ban passed.
Two of the NFL's best teams squared off in the snow in Buffalo for a chance to go to the AFC Championship game. The Buffalo Bills took a 21-10 lead into halftime against the Baltimore Ravens, but the game came down to the final moments. Lamar Jackson connected with Isaiah Likely for a touchdown, and there was less than 2 minutes left to get Baltimore within 2 points. But their attempt to tie it on a two-point conversion, as you see here, ended with a dropped pass. The Bills get the win 27-25 and move on to next week's conference championship game. And coming up in What's Trending, we're going to see the unusual way one Bills player celebrated the win.
Philadelphia Eagles star running back Saquon Barkley had a huge game. He broke off a 62-yard touchdown run in the first quarter against the LA Rams yesterday. Then, as the snow fell in the fourth quarter, he sprinted down the field for a 78-yard touchdown. He ended up with 205 rushing yards in the game. That's the fourth most by any player in a playoff game in history. The Eagles beat the Rams 28-22 to move on in the playoffs.
I think he was thinking in his head, don't slip, don't slip, don't slip. The Eagles will play the Washington Commanders in the NFC Championship game on Sunday, and you can watch that game on Fox 50. Kickoff at 3. The Buffalo Bills will take on the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and kickoff for that game is Sunday at 6:30. Then the winners of those two games will play each other in the Super Bowl on February 9th.
College football will crown a national champion tonight. Ohio State and Notre Dame will play in the college football playoff title game. The teams will face off inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Kickoff is at 7:30 tonight.
Now, from what we've been reporting, there have been obviously some snow in some areas that we have been looking at, but nothing quite what we're going to be seeing here. At least the big story today, the cold. Elizabeth's been tracking that as you're waking up this morning. And Elizabeth, where are we right now in terms of maybe average temperatures?
So we're definitely below average. Average temperature this time of year is around 32, but temperatures have dipped into the upper 20s, around 30. What we'll end up seeing, though, is tonight temperature is dipping into the teens, and for the next several mornings, that's what it's going to feel like. We take a live look at Fayetteville, Raleigh, and Apex. Skies are all clear this morning. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. We take a look at our temperatures. We'll likely go ahead and dip into the mid-20s in a lot of places by the time we get to 7 or 8 o'clock this morning, and then we're just going to hold it near freezing. 33 at lunchtime, 34, and then with the wind chill, it's likely to feel like 20s for most of the day. This is a look at our very cold temperatures that we'll see tonight. 12 in Roxborough, 16 Rocky Mount, 18 Fayetteville, 16 in Southern Pine. So we do have a WRAL weather alert day for tomorrow based on the cold temperatures and the wind chills. Tomorrow morning at this time, it could feel like 9 in Durham and Rocky Mount, 8 in Clinton, Fayetteville, and Southern Pine. So that's our weather alert day for tomorrow. We have a cold weather advisory that's in effect for late tonight, tomorrow morning for those wind chills in the single digits to low teens. So just keep that in mind. This is a look at the big picture. Not a whole lot happening just yet, but we're going to see a low pressure system developing and riding along the Gulf Coast and then out to sea. And it's plenty cold. It's, for us snow lovers, this particular pattern is pretty heartbreaking because all the cold air is in place. We wouldn't have to deal with freezing rain or sleet or anything like that. But we do have to have moisture, and that's what's going to be missing out of the system. So this is all going to be along the coast. Houston, New Orleans, parts of Florida could see as much as 4 to 6 inches of snow. Wilmington and our coastline could see maybe 2 to 3 inches of snow. But for us in our area, it's just going to miss us, really. This is going to be 5 p.m. this evening. You can see the clouds, or 5 p.m. Tuesday. The clouds increasing at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Could be just a few scattered flurries. Now, here's the catch. Even though we may see very little measurable snow, it could still cause some slick conditions for Wednesday morning. So Wednesday is also a WRAL weather alert day because we can have those issues. This is a look at our snowfall potential. As much as 2 to 3 inches along the coast, Fayetteville around half an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch in the triangle. So definitely less than an inch of snow for the bulk of our viewing area. Mostly east of US 1 is where we'll see snow falling. Here's the key though, whatever falls, even if it's very light, could stick Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning. So that's something we'll watch closely. Tuesday's high 32, Wednesday's high 32. Wind chill is going to be a big deal. We're going to walk through the hour-by-hour wind chill for today. Coming up, Ken.
6:20, Elizabeth. We're going to keep it outside. Give you a live look at I-40 and Wade Avenue this morning. Many of you are off for work on this holiday. Some school districts are out for the day. A little bit of light traffic, but flowing nicely in both directions. We do have a crash inside the Beltline on Capitol Boulevard, likely in the clearing phase. But in terms of all the other routes coming into the capital city, no delays whatsoever. Similarly, in Durham, very little to no delays heading into the Bull City this morning.
Ken, thanks. Joe Biden marks his final day in the Oval Office, his last presidential trip, and the message he highlighted in South Carolina.
Plus, inauguration plans at the U.S. Capitol, where you are looking live. What to expect from today's swearing-in celebration for Donald Trump and what his second term could mean for North Carolina.
Here's a look at your winning lottery numbers. We'll be back with what's trending.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Matthew McConaughey is sharing his pick for People's next sexiest man alive.
Ken Smith is here now with What's Trending.
Yeah, Chris, and if you're into the golden years, right? McConaughey shared a photo on Instagram with Sir Anthony Hopkins. They were in Saudi Arabia together for the 2025 Joy Awards. He captioned the photo, "It's past time this Sir is people's sexiest man alive."
You know what did it? He probably watched, Silence of the Lambs and heard, "Hello, Clarice." That's what did it. That's why he thought about it.
Okay, I don't know who thinks Hannibal Lecter is sexy, but no, that's a hard pass. No.
That movie still scares me.
Yeah.
We've been talking about how cold it is around here, even more so in Buffalo, but that didn't stop Bills player Mac Hollins from showing up in style. He arrived for Sunday's playoff game dressed for the beach. Of course, after the Bills won, he put the outfit back on and posed for a victory photo. Why not?
Why not? I think this was just, a chance for him to flash his abs. That's pretty much what this is. Yeah.
I think he's a former UNC Tar Heel, right? If I'm not mistaken. That's what
We'll have to double check that.
Yeah, our producer was saying that. So,
yeah. All right.
Showing off in a big style. Okay.
Dressing like it's North Carolina. All right. Drop off where the Kids Exchange consignment sale starts today. Parents can drop off gently worn kids' clothes, toys, shoes, baby equipment, furniture, and more. You can drop off the items over at the Jim Graham Building at the NC State Fairgrounds from 5 to 7 tonight, 10 until 8 tomorrow, and 9 to 11 a.m. Wednesday morning. The public sale starts Friday and goes through Sunday. Some good deals to be had.
Local Rotary clubs will pack 150,000 meals today for people in need as part of the MLK Day of Service. The groups are putting the meals together for people in Wake, Durham, Orange, and Johnston counties. They'll pack them at events today in Raleigh, Durham, and Clayton. The Interfaith Food Shuttle will then work to distribute those meals.
Check out the wind chill as you're heading out the door. Already dipping into the teens in some places. We're looking at single digits tonight and a cold weather advisory. I'll show you what to expect.
And a fire broke out this morning around 1 o'clock at a home in Durham. What we have learned about the people who were inside as the WRAL Breaking News Tracker was at the scene.
And an unexpected landing at RDU shortly after midnight. Why a plane from Philadelphia bound for Miami touched down here instead.